Well, as you can see, we are no longer in the cold north and we've made it to Florida. And we have a video for you this week about the last bit of the renovation of this truck, and then we'll get to some videos about on the road. This was the last scramble before we left on our trip. I just had about a week left and I had a million things to do. So you're going to see lots of different projects and we try to get them all done before we leave. We have this heating and cooling unit that was part of the original fire truck, and it's plumbed into the engine coolant for heating and the engine AC system. So you can see here it has the two coolant loop lines, and then it has the AC refrigerant lines. Unfortunately, at some point the AC fluid had leaked out, but this did make it easier for me to remove as I didn't have to worry about capturing it. Today I'm working on the upper cupboards over here on this side. It's a bit chilly out, so I've been trying to stay inside a bit, and I'm just now making trim to cover up the edges of the plywood, and then we'll make some doors for the top. As if I needed to be reminded of why we're doing this work. I think once these are painted up and the trim is all cleaned up and filled, it's going to look really good. Now with the space cleared, I was able to start building the benches for the seats. One of the seats will have our battery set up inside it, and the other one will be used for storage. Since it was originally one long bench, I needed to cut it in half to make it into two smaller ones. So this was the upholstery that was in the van originally, and we're definitely going to reuse it. Whether we cover it or not, we're not sure. It's not in bad shape, but we're definitely going to modify it and possibly cover it with a different fabric.
We purchased this striped fabric, and just laying it out, we've cut the first piece to make sure we have enough space, and then we're going to start some sewing.
We took apart this dining table that we had and repurposed it as the new dinette table. After a bit of trial and error, we found the right height. I wanted the table to be nice and sturdy, so I used some angle iron to anchor it to the wall. And then we used a single leg from the table as the support for the front. And here's the final product. I think it's a perfect place to have dinner on the road. So today we are working on the storage underneath the bed. We want to have our main dresser under there, so we're going to be building 2 big drawers that allow us to store our clothing and so forth there, and then up here is where we'll keep the rest of it. This space underneath the fiberglass hood that goes over the cab is the only spot that isn't insulated, so I'm going to add some of this reflective insulation, and then I'm going to put some bats behind, and then our cabinets will go in front. Found this cut diagram tool, which has really been handy to help figure out the plywood cuts for the cabinet doors, and I'm using it now to set up all my rough cutting, and then we'll get to installing them after we make them. There we are, that's our cut list, and that's our finished pieces. We'll just have to edge band them, and then we'll be good to paint. I was going to try to install this click together flooring I got off Facebook Marketplace, but it's really heavy and it's really difficult to work with, so I'm giving up on that. Instead I'm going with this stick down vinyl flooring, which is more flexible and I think will work better in the bag. So I'm installing the flooring, even though it says not to install in cold temperatures because it's going to be cold here for a long time and I have no choice. So I'm going to be using some construction adhesive to hopefully help it stick down, and I'll keep this place heated as best I can for the next couple days, and wish me luck. We installed a diesel heater even though we intend to stay in warm climates. Getting there sometimes will require a bit of heat. Tammy's back there prepping for paint, and I'm working on the trim.
Stop taking my picture.
The weather's not great today, but I'm going to go out there anyway and install the backup camera. But first I'm going to do a little test here with our little portable power pack just to make sure that it all works before I go to the trouble of installing it and finding out that it doesn't. So the question is, for the backup camera, should it be installed all the way up there or should it be down here somewhere? So we're going to temporarily hook it up and look at its field of view and figure out where the best spot for it to go. I ended up setting it up so I could tilt the camera up and down depending on the angle I want to see. The box came with this section of the roof that's just raw fiberglass, not painted on the outside. So it's a great source of daylight, but the fiberglass kind of looks rough and unfinished. We had a couple ideas on how to make it look more finished, and Tammy came up with this idea of creating a frame and stretching fabric over it, and it looks really nice. If you live in Ontario and you're converting a van or a bus or something that wasn't an RV into an RV, message me, because we spent a lot of time and effort figuring out how to get this thing registered as a motorhome and then insured. So it was tough lessons, but we're willing to share our experience if you need help. I've been doing some work around the outside of the truck as well to tidy up some of the little dents and dings. The bumper needed a little straightening and some of the trim was coming off. And there was a bunch of residue on the windshield from where the old, what I assume was the backup camera, was stuck on. And it was too cold to paint, so I ended up doing the last bit of painting in Florida. Thanks to everyone who has been following along on our build journey, and we will have more videos from the road coming soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Ontario Lakeside.